Hello Wagwan, welcome back to my channel. So as you guys can see from the title, I will be making this June pattern studio top. So I tried to do more of a vlog style so long than just doing like a tutorial. This is just something new that I'm testing out for my channel. I don't want to just do solely tutorials, but I want to do some like vlog style tutorials or some vlog style sew along, not a tutorial per se, and then kind of do some like a day in the life of me, like cutting out my patterns and just kind of just going with the flow. So this is just something that I am trying or testing out for my YouTube channel. So since this is something new, I missed some parts of going over what I am doing, so I am just filming this and I'm going to pitch in some parts that I missed out. Anyways, let's get started. So the pattern was made for a full length shirt. However, I want to switch this up and make it into a crop top. So in order to do that, I have to cut down the length of the shirt. So first, I played around with the measurement of the shirt itself, measure my body, and then that way I can see what the length of the shirt that I want it to be. Keep it in mind that I am going to be hemming the bottom. So say for example you want it to be 16 inches in length, then you want to add an extra 1 inch for the double rolled hem. So in this case, I am just going to be cutting off 3.5 inch from the bottom of the shirt. I do not want to cut this from the pattern because eventually I am going to be making the full length shirt. So I'm going to put a marking for the 3.5 inch and then I'm just going to fold it and cut it from there. Alright, so before cutting out the pattern, what I'm going to do is deassemble the shirt. So I'm cutting off the bottom, the hem, and then I'm going to separate the front and the back of the shirt. Alright, so after separating the front and the back, I'm going to take that back piece, I'm going to fold it in half because the pattern does require cutting on the fold. So as you can see here, I'm taking the back bodice, I'm repositioning it just to make sure that it fits because I am working with a limited amount of fabric, but I'm going to make it work. So I am just going to use my tailor's chalk and just trace the outline here. Even though I did not use it here, I just want to point out that I do recommend using a pattern weight just to make sure the pattern don't shift. Also want to point out I am leaving that bottom part of the shirt just so I can use that for the strings for the front of the shirt. Alright, so once I'm done tracing out the back bodice, I'm going to cut it out. And again, to avoid the fabric from shifting or slipping, I do recommend either putting on some pattern weights down on the fabric itself or just pinning it together so it does not shift. And then this is one of the hiccups when it comes to doing thrift flips. I don't have a lot of fabric that I am working with, so I was not able to cut on a fold. So I'm going to have to cut the pieces separately. That's fine. I would have done this in the back if I had realized, but for some reason I thought I would be able to do both, cut up both the front and back bodice on the folds. Not sure where I went wrong. Alright, so I'm going to lay the pattern out just as I did with the back bodice, and then I'm going to trace it out. The only thing I'm doing different, where it says unfold, I am going to leave that extra 1/2 inch on both sides. That way I can join the two pieces together there. Alright, so as you guys can see here, I placed those two front pieces right side facing each other and just pin along that middle piece. So there's going to be a seam in the middle that should have been cut on the fold. Now I'm going to place the front and back bodice right side facing each other, then pin the shoulders together before taking it over to my sewing machine. So the pattern does come with a piece to cut out the bias tape for the front and back neckline. However, I'm going to use this fold over elastic from the shirt I am transforming. So I did use that piece from the pattern as a guide to cut out the length of the elastic. So now I'm just going to use that in place of the bias tape. Alright, so once this is pinned in place, I'm going to carefully take this over to the sewing machine and sew. Alright, so moving on to the channel piece. So I'm going to place that piece that I've cut out onto that front curved section. Pin that into place. You want to make sure on both ends you leave out about a ½ inch and sew that down. So here's where I'm at right now with the shirt. I had to sew the front two pieces together because I didn't have enough to do the fold, to cut on the fold, so I had to join these two pieces together. Here they are. I'm okay with it. I've started the passageway for the front where we're going to insert the strings. That's all I've gotten done so far. We're heading out to gymnastics, then to my boyfriend's basketball game. After that, I'll be pretty late, probably 9:30, 10. So I am planning to finish this tonight. I'm going to take with me to gymnastics these two bias tapes that I have to pick out. So while I'm at gymnastics, that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm bringing both of these and my pick out so I can pick them out and have them ready for me tonight. So we're going to head out. I will check back in tonight. Alright, so before sewing on the elastic around the arm, what I'm going to do is sew the sides together. So as you can see here, the front and back pieces are right side facing each other. I'm going to line up the sides, pin together, and then take it over to the sewing machine. The next thing I want to point out is I also went ahead and reused the fold over elastic. This is actually my first time working with the fold over elastic, but it made it so much easier. As you can see here on the arm and then the back neckline all the way to, let's see, all the way here. I used that fold over elastic to hide the raw edge. So once I've cut it to the length of the armhole, I'm going to place the right sides together and sew the ends. Alright, so I don't know if this is the correct method, but this is what worked for me. So I'm going to place the ends that I just sewed together to the side where those two side seams meet, and I'm just going to sandwich the armhole in the fold over elastic and pin in place before taking over to the sewing machine. You want to be very careful. All right, continue pinning this all the way around, then take it over to the sewing machine. All right, now moving on to this channel area here at the front. So all I'm going to do is fold over to the wrong side of the fabric and just pin into place. That's all I really need to do. Just folding over the channel in two, making sure the end of that side is below that seam, and then I'm going to sew all around the neckline. All right, and then just moving on to the bottom of the shirt, I'm just gonna double roll the hemline, pin in place, and then take it over to the sewing machine, and I'm going to use my zigzag stitch for this. All right, once that is done, the only thing now is to work on the string to insert into the channel. So this piece that I have here that I've cut out for the string, I'm just going to fold that over, and then I'm going to pin along the longer side. Once that is pinned in place, I'm going to take it over to the sewing machine and sew along the raw edge with 5/8 seam allowance. To turn the string over to the right side, I'm going to use a safety pin, insert it into one end, then pull that all the way through. So the last thing here is just to insert the string. So I'm going to use my safety pin and putting it onto the end of the string here, and to pull, and then pull it through that channel. So I'm just going to start at one end here and push it through. Alright, and then when I get to this end, and then when I get to this end, I'm just going to even it out. So I just want to evenly, this is what it should look like. And then for the ends, you can either tie it, that's typically what my go-to is, just putting a knot at the end, or you could literally just fold in the edge here and then do a zigzag stitch, whichever one works. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed this so long vlog style. I'm going to work on it a little bit more so it's not as confusing, or I'm not piecing in different videos. Don't forget to like, share, comment in the comment box below. Let's get social. Follow me over on my Instagram at thatsolika. Until then, stay safe and happy sewing. Bye.